What's going on, everybody? Scary Spikes with you again with some more Friday Night Magic, and tonight we're going to be playing a red, green, and black deck. Excuse me, which is focused on bringing stuff back with cards like Undying Evil for their enter the battlefield effects. Unfortunately, this particular hand is not so good. This is better because we've got the Cultivate, so it's not too bad. It's a little land heavy, but we've got the Shock as well that we can use, so we'll keep this hand. So as I mentioned, this is a green, red, and black deck that's focused on bringing stuff back from the graveyard. Unfortunately, we are not running Treasured Finds. And the reason why we're not running Treasured Finds is because Treasured Find returns stuff to our hand. And we would like to return stuff to our battlefield if we can. So we're playing against some green cards here. This appears to be a Elvish Visionary. So he's going to play that and draw a card. Pretty good card. Any card that replaces itself in Magic can be pretty much called a good card. So let's play... I almost want to play our Bloodghast just to get some early damage. So let's do that. Let's play our Bloodghast. And we'll see how it goes. I think next turn we'll want to Cultivate unless he plays something a little bit more scary with 1 or 2 toughness that we'll be able to shock off with the Shock here. Just another Visionary. So I have a feeling this is some kind of elf ball deck then, some green-red elf ball deck. And you guys know by now, every time I see green, I think of Craterhoof Behemoth. And it scares me, scares the crap out of me, to be honest with you. Because of how terrible my experience with Craterhoof Behemoth was last time. And you guys saw what happened there. I mean, I got crushed. So let's play that. And we can play, I mean, I'm not really scared of his... of his guys, but anyway, let's see if he's got something. What I actually should have done is I should have attacked first, because if I had put a land into play while this was dead, and he, let's say, shocked it, I would have been able to bring it back by simply just playing a land, so that was a mistake on my part. But let's Cultivate. And we've already got one of each source, so it doesn't really matter too much, and we've got a black sword, and we're gonna get red. We're gonna get double red because we've already got excuse me, we've already got some green and black on the field, and we've got some green and black in our hands, so red was the obvious option. Plus I don't want to be stuck without double red for Ogre Battle Driver, so he's gonna swing us for 2. Timberwatch Elf. Yeah, so this is the kind of thing that needs to die, because this is obviously one of those elf ball decks. This stuff just gets spiraling out of control. Well, I'm gonna swing here, but I reckon he's not gonna block with his 1-2 that can pump everybody else up. So, geez, sorry guys, I don't know what's going on with me today. Coughing like crazy. So instead of playing the Ogre Battle Driver for 4, I say we just let's play land. Let's play a swamp. Well, I should have played a forest, but that's okay. It doesn't really matter. And I think I'm just going to pass the turn. And I think at the beginning of his turn, I'm just going to... Well, I guess I should have done that later. Yeah, because now he can do that in response. So that was kind of silly of me. That's unfortunate. Yeah, I should have done that before when he wasn't able to tap him. And this is what happens when you play Magic only once a week, guys. And now he's going to pump that up, and it's going to be trouble. Oh my goodness, I don't know what's going on with me today, guys. Just seriously, it's not like I'm not feeling too well, but I'm just coughing like crazy. Okay. So we have a Graveborn Muse. We can play that for a little bit of card draw. Plus it's a 3-3, so it'll stop some of his smaller guys from coming in. Or I could play the Ogre Battle Driver. So we have 2, 4, 5, 6. And next turn we'll be able to play that. So having that with haste would be nice. So let's play the Ogre Battle Driver. Hopefully that's just not another misplay. And why not? If he wants to block with his 4-2, he can be my guest. I'll get some more damage across. Okay. So, Unfortunately, we are going to be taking a little bit more damage. Well, a lot more damage, it would seem. And looks like he's going to shoot off the battle driver. Ah, that's unfortunate. So the Galvanic Arc turning that thing into a 5-3, killing our battle driver, sadly. And now we're going to be taking 7. So that'll bring us down to 9. That's sort of unfortunate. It was a bit of a misplay with that Timberwatch Elf, though. I really should have changed my timing on that. Because unfortunately, now he's got a bit of an advantage. Although, hey, this isn't too bad. We can actually clear his board right here. We do that. See you later. And then we'll play that. And then we'll play that. Unfortunately, in the meantime, we also got rid of our Bloodghast permanently by exiling it with Anger of the Gods. But you know what? That's fine. I'll trade it. I guess that sort of makes up for the terrible misplay a little bit earlier. So, what is this? 2-2, 2-3. Whenever an ore becomes attached to him, put a 2-2 red dragon creature token. Okay. So we're going to draw an extra card. I'm going to play a land for turn. And we've got a Genesis Hydra, so we can play this now for 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's not a bad idea. But first of all, let's go to combat, because I don't think he's going to be able to do anything. He's tapped out, so he won't be able to shock this even if he had it. And we'll swing with our Graveborn Muse for 3. And then we'll just make a big Hydra. And then I think this way we can just recover. So put it all the way up to 6. And just tap out. Might as well. Unfortunately, we only hit the Crypt Gas. My god, guys, I don't know what is going on with me, seriously. Today is just not a good day. Although it's Friday. Friday alone makes it a good day, but we do have a 6-6 Hydra. And a 2-1 as well. I would have hoped for a little bit more from the Hydra. Unfortunately, that was not the case, but we've got our Runescarred Demon as well as a Cultivate, and our Graveborn Muse will be able to draw us a little bit more cards. Oh yes, this is exactly what I needed. So I think just for the life gain we need to play this. But before anything, he's still got 2 damage, so before anything, I'm just going to swing. And he's got a 4-3. He could double block the Hydra. But I guess I'm not too worried about that, so that's fine. In fact, I'm almost certain that's what he's going to do, but I couldn't be. Okay. Just gonna let 6 go through. In that case, then we'll just play Palaka Worm, gain some life, get a little bit more stability going. And then we've got a pretty good blocker. So, methinks we might have a chance at winning this game here, guys. We've still got a good amount of cards in our hand. The Cultivate, which we probably won't need. The Runescarred Demon is a nice fetch, and it's a big 6-6 fatty with flying, which is always good. And Sheoldred, oh my goodness, the Whispering one. She makes this deck good. She keeps bringing stuff back, and she keeps making him have to sack. So we'll take another couple of damage here. And we got another Graveborn Muse. I think this is pretty much in the books here, but anyway. Let's play our land. We'll get our Bloodghast back into play, then we'll swing with Bloodghast, Palaka Worm. I don't know, we might as well swing with everything. I think that's game. The Palaka Worm has trample, so he pretty much has to block everything, but I don't think it's going to matter because the trample is just going to come on through. And that's game. Alright guys, let's move on to game number 2. Alrighty guys, we're back for game number 2 here, and it looks like this is a pretty decent hand. Unfortunately, we're only stuck on 2 lands, but we have our Shock, and we do have our Ground Assault, so hopefully if we draw into some more lands, this would be good. So I guess I'm just going to keep this. Hopefully this wasn't a mistake. Speaking of mistakes, I should have played the Gruul Guildgate instead for the Shock, but that's fine. Looks like we'll be playing against at least blue. So if you guys haven't been paying attention, just very, very recently, there's a new card pack that came out for Magic 2015. And it includes a lot of really cool cards, one of which I actually run in my Azami EDH deck, which is Laboratory Maniac, which says pretty much if you were to draw a card from your library and you can't draw from your library, you win the game instead. So that's pretty sweet. So it opens up a lot of opportunities for some self-mill decks and so on. And there's also Master of Waves, what was there, Titan Steel Colossus? Something like that. I'm probably getting the name wrong, but... And he's just going to play a wall, which is fine. We're going to play a land and pass the turn. Darksteel Colossus, that's what I was thinking of. Darksteel Colossus, Master of Waves, Laboratory Maniac, a bunch of other really, really cool cards. Some nice artifacts too, actually, which was really surprising. Speaking of mill, he's going to start milling us. And we mill a land, so... Well, we mill 2 lands and an Anger of the Gods, so that's slightly worse. I think this thing is a bit of a problem. Does he have a counterspell? Ah, he's just going to return it to his hand, okay. Well, at least that slows him down for a turn. Him playing blue, though, I don't know if that's something that's going to be viable in this particular game, but I guess we'll find out. So now we're just crossing our fingers to get a land here, because without a land... that's unfortunate. And I don't really want to play Genesis Hydra right now. Or the Tribute to Hunger. What I'm thinking, though, is when he does play the Head-Drawn Crab one more time, he'll be pretty close to tapped out and we can use a Ground Assault. Although, is this a certain... That's a sorcery. That's unfortunate. The Ground Assault, of course, dealing damage to target creature equal to the amount of lands we control for 2 mana, 1 red and 1 green. Can't complain with that. There's the Head-Drawn Crab. Oh, he's the only 1 mana. Well, that's pretty brutal. Okay, so I guess the game plan is if we don't draw land, we'll play the Ground Assault. Okay, well, I guess what I meant was untapped land. But the... Savage lands are going to be coming in tapped, sadly. So we'll do that. We have 4 mana and another 1 turn, hopefully. If we get a good drop, we can play our Indulgent Tormentor, which is going to help a lot. In the meantime, though, let's try to kill this thing off. He's probably got a Negate or a Voyage's End or a Vapor Snag. Yep, there's another one. Well, at least we've made him use both of his Voyage's Ends. Voyage End? Wait, I have no idea. The point is, the voyage has been ended twice already, and I think there will be no more voyages. There's the Head-Drawn Crab again. Is he going to play a land? Yeah. So he's going to gain some life, and he's going to mill me another 3. Let's see what he got. Oh, that could have been useful. You know what? You're a real jerk, McKaiken, whatever your name is. Please make your names easier to pronounce, guys. I just can't make these videos with names like this. What is this? I don't even know. Well, the good news is now he's tapped out. And we've got an Anger of the Gods. And we can't really play anything else, so I think we're just going to Anger of the Gods. And that's also going to remove his pesky guy here who is immune to combat damage. Fortunately, all other damage resolves on him, so that's good. And now if he has another Head-Drawn Crab, I swear to God, I'm going to flip the table. He's going to Tome Scour me. At least I think he's going to Tome Scour. Yeah. Well, I don't know, guys. We got to get some answers on the board here. I don't mind if he mills me a couple of cards a turn, but if this keeps growing... At least he can't attack me, though, so this is good. But the problem is that we've been getting a very slow start here with this particular... Thank you, Jeebus! And, I don't know, he's got Dissolve mana up, so I'm kind of curious now. You know what, let's try it. We have to try it. We need to get some damage across. No Dissolve. But does he have something to return it to my hand? Okay, he's going to think twice. So he's probably digging for a bounce or something like that. Nevertheless, though, at the beginning of my upkeep, I get to draw an extra card unless he sacrifices a creature or pays 3 life, which is really nice. So we'll see what he decides to do. He may very well just get rid of it, but in doing so, he may tap out, and in doing that, he may prevent more milling. Ah, there's the Graveborn Muse. He might prevent himself from being able to cast anything else, and it seems to indeed be the case. So let's see what else he's got up his sleeve. Probably not much. I mean, he's not going to hit me for 0. So I assume he's just going to pass, or she, I don't know. Come on now. There you go. And I'm going to target my opponent here. Let's decide, I'll have to decide whether they want to pay 3 life or sack a creature. At this point, I don't think this is really going to help much. So sacking the wall would be an ideal way of having me not draw a card. Paying 3 life isn't very viable, even though she's a 24 life. She, he, I have no idea. It's a 24 life. But it apparently is having some difficulty making the choice. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, so he sacks the wall. And we end up drawing an Undying Evil. Now I really want to play this, but unfortunately we've only got... we'll only be able to play for 3. Thing is, we've also got this. This is really cool. I can play that later. The Unearth. So let's do that. Let's first of all, let's go to combat. And I don't want to overextend. I mean, I don't want to play the other one, because just in case he's got some kind of crazy removal for it, or an exile, or I don't know. But then I guess if he's got something that'll kill it, we can always Undying Evil, which is nice. So I want to leave 1 black open. And then I think I'm going to unearth this. And then I guess it doesn't matter which way we tap, because one of these is going to give us black anyway, right? Yeah. So this is going to come back. Oh, I should have done that before combat, though, because this thing has haste, doesn't it? Sure does. Misplay. Misplays all around today. Ah, that's unfortunate. I totally misplayed that. Totally misplayed that. That was a 3/3 for 2 that I could have just done an extra 3 damage, but that's whatever. I've got a lot of things on my mind, guys, so I do apologize. I'm playing like absolute crap. Like you guys have probably heard, I'm going to China very soon. With that being said, though, I am working very hard to get all these videos going for you guys, but I just don't know if I'm going to be able to do 3 weeks worth of videos. I have a lot of work, and besides the work, I have a lot of work at home as well, plus the 3 regular videos during the week, as well as the blog entries. So it's a lot of stuff on my plate, and then in the meantime, I had to, start packing all my stuff and working on my paperwork to get it, across the border, because obviously you need some paperwork to get across the border. So I do apologize, guys, if I don't get the whole 3 weeks worth of videos in. What's going on here? Is it our turn? Is it his turn? Okay, he's gonna play a Millstone. So I do apologize, guys, if for some reason I don't get 3 weeks of videos scheduled up on YouTube. It's very difficult. There's a lot of time that is needed to do 3 weeks of video straight in about a week or two time, on top of the regular videos I'm doing, so I do apologize in advance. So anyway, what's going on here? He's just taking his time. He played the Millstone. He can use the Millstone if he wants, but I guess he's thinking about how he's going to survive, because frankly, I've got 32 more cards in my library. And effectively, he can only mill me for 2 with the Millstone at a time, unless he's got something that untaps artifacts or permanents. So either he's trying to buy time, or he's trying to get me to quit, or he can't make up his mind, or all of those. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But I think we just keep picking away with our Indulgent Tormentor, and I guess at this point he'll have to sacrifice 3 life. Or maybe his mom called him to take out the garbage, who knows? Anything could have happened. Okay, so trigger goes off on the Indulgent Tormentor on my upkeep. And he's going to pay 3 life, so there you go. He really doesn't want me to draw cards, but it doesn't really matter to me. I've got a full hand anyway. Do we play this for 3? I think not. I'll say just go into combat. If he's going to bounce it, he probably should do it. Okay. Well, you know what? We have the Hydra, and we have this thing. I think I'm just going to play another one. I might be overextending. Nah, he's going to mill me. Okay. It might be overextending, but honestly, he's at 11. We're at 20, with 29 cards left in our library. So, even if he drops something like a Thought Scour, if I'm not mistaken, is it a Thought Scour? Arrest, okay. Can't attack or block, that's fine. Uh-huh. Well, we've got ways of getting rid of that. Okay. Fortunately, even though it can attack or block, both the triggers go off. So now he's going to have to either lose 6 life, or 3 life in a creature, or neither, and just let me draw extra cards. Well, looks like he's just going to let me draw. So... oh, that's fantastic. We even get our Bloodghast back. So why don't we do this? Oh, you know what? Hold on. I have an idea. I have a really good idea. So we're going to hit that. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to Undying Evil this thing. Okay. And then I'm actually going to just kill my own guy. He knows what's happening, so he's he's trying to figure. Well, either he knows what's happening or he's trying to figure it out. But I think he realizes that this is now going to come back. The arrest is going to fall off, and now we get a 6/4, which I can't really argue with that. So then we're going to drop this. We're going to ask him to sacrifice a creature. What does he have? Does he have a bounce? Does he have 2 bounces? 2 Vapor Snags, maybe? For a second I thought he was just trying to delay the game. Alright, let's attack. He's probably got a bounce. I'm almost entirely sure he's got a bounce. He has to. Unfortunately the blood... okay, I guess he doesn't. Unfortunately the Bloodghast doesn't have haste. It does now. Now that our opponent's under 10 health. He's gonna mill us again. Yeah, I feel like the mill strategy is just... it's not sufficient versus aggressive decks. I mean, unless you just have handfuls upon handfuls upon handfuls of hand disruption, stuff like this. Arrest, counter spells, bounce effects. But even then, it's very difficult to win against an aggressive deck because the beasts just keep on coming, and you can't mill fast enough, you know, unless you have 2 more triggers. At least he's got sack outlets now. If he decides to take the damage, he's dead. So he either has to let us draw, or he has to sack his creatures, and I don't think he wants to sack his... okay. Well, that's fine. So what we're going to do then is pre-combat, we're just going to shock that. And then we're going to ask him to sack a creature. Counterspell. Negate. Okay. Well, I'm pretty sure he's just dead anyway. He's going to be taking 6 from that, so I don't know. Yeah. Let's just go to combat. I think that's going to do it for this game. Oh no, he's got a rest on this thing, that's right. Alright, well I guess he's still alive. He's hanging in there. I was getting all cocky like, alright, we won this game. It would appear not. So, let's pass the turn. And let's see what happens. He's at 4 life, honestly. I just don't think... I mean, yeah, he's got to search for answers. He doesn't necessarily have the most land either. I mean, he's got about 7 land, 5 available now. And there's only so much you can do with that land. Yeah, you can play a blocker. The thing is, though, I'll just play Shieldred and that'll be that. So, and we're just gonna keep drawing with the Indulgent Tormentor here. Yeah. So that's it's unfortunate for him. Let's just play the Shieldred. You know, it just there's no sense in not playing her because he's just gonna have to sack creatures. We're gonna keep getting creatures back. He's very adamant on milling us out, though. I mean, most people would have just said, "Hey, Alt F4, I'm out of here." But he's gonna block. Of course, no combat damage being assigned there, as his is a 0-4 and mine is a 2-2. 2-1 rather. Gonna mill us for another 2. Okay, so we're down to 15 cards then. 17, my bad. 17 cards. And he's gonna have to sack a creature. Thalsa's Bounty is going to mill me another 5. I don't know. Is it 5? No, he's going to mill me 3. There's only so much he can do. He's going to play another Arrest. Oh my goodness. Are you kidding me? Well, I don't think it matters too much. I mean, I don't think he can mill 14 cards in 2 turns. And I don't know what we should get. Why don't we get Ogre Battle Driver? Yeah. Because then we can just play our demon and that'll be that. Unless he's got another 4 arrest cards in there somewhere. I don't know. So this is good though, getting that draw engine going. I mean, Shieldred is unbelievable for that. Or rather, the Indulgent Tormentor. Shieldred is still pretty good though, don't get me wrong. So let's play Runescar Demon. He's tapped out, he's not going to do anything. 2 cards in hand, 4 life. At this point, it's pretty obvious the game is going to be over. He leaves, so we'll just get that for shits and giggles. And that's going to do it. Beauty. Alrighty guys, stay tuned for game number 3 coming right up. Hopefully 3 wins in a row. Find out. Alrighty guys, back for game 3 here. And this looks like a pretty decent hand. It's not overly aggressive at the start, but we've got plenty of lands to play all the stuff that we like. We have a Ground Assault for some early threat. And of course we have the Viscera Dragger. And Inferno Titan. I'll keep this. Let's start it off with a Savage Lance. And we're going to pass the turn. We'll see what happens. Not a bad hand at all. We can probably use the Viscera Dragger for cycling to draw a card, and then we can bring him back from the graveyard to get some 3-3 haste action going. Hey, we draw into a Tribute to Hunger. Not too bad. Let's play our second tap land, and after that we can start dropping our forests. Looks like we're playing against something green. Maybe mono green, maybe something else. Okay, clearly it's a 3-color deck, so red, green, and white. I'm guessing either Exalted or Life Gain. That's probably what it's going to be. But let's play that. And let's cycle this. Let me just draw a card. Ooh, that's actually a fantastic draw. That is great. So next turn we can play that, draw another card. Or we've got the option to remove one of his threats, depending on what he plays. If he's playing Lifelink, he's going to probably be playing some bigger fatties. He's going to Cultivate. If he's playing tokens with some burn, he's playing black as well, eh? Interesting. So this might be a 5-color deck, guys. I'm not sure, but we've got our own Cultivate here. So we'll drop that. Unfortunately, this is going to take most of our mana, but you know what? We don't want him to be ahead of the race either, so let's go ahead and grab ourselves a Swamp and a Mountain. And we'll pass the turn. I guess neither side here being too aggressive, which is pretty good. He's got an island on the field here as well now. He's got actually pretty much all of his colors, but he's going to play his Wall of Drawing Cards. Wall of Omens. It's 0-4 when it comes to the battlefield. It draws him a card. He's going to play yet another Cultivate. Now I'm scared. Because I have no idea what could be hiding in that deck of his. For all I know, he could have 36 lands, 4 Cultivates, and nothing but 6 drops. You never know. It's very possible. But we have a lot of mana available now. And guess what now? We can play our Infernal Titan. This is going to be very hard for him to deal with. Obviously being a 6/6, so clearly we're not going to do enough to that minion to kill it, or minion, that creature. So we're just going to do 3 damage to his face. Not a bad start. And once he starts attacking, I'm just going to keep doing damage to his face. Unless there's, you know, a 1 or a 2 power, or even a 3 toughness creature that I can kill, there's really no point. Because I'm going to do 3 damage to that, and what's going to happen? It's just going to regain its life at the end of the turn, and no big deal. But this way... Okay. Well, there you go. Fortunately, we've got an answer for that, though. So we're going to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we're going to play a Ground Assault. We're going to target his 6/6. He did tap out for that, unfortunately, so that does kind of suck. And we're going to go to combat, and we'll swing with the big boy. Trigger goes on the stack. We do 3 damage to his face. All that damage. I love Infernal Titan. He's fantastic. So we've got him at 14 damage. Unless he wants to take another 6, he'll probably just... Okay. So he's at 8. So let's play our Elvish Visionary. Draw a card. Admittedly, we could have pumped the Infernal Titan a little bit. I just wanted to see what he would have done. But we'll just pass this until next turn. We'll see what he has. Ogre Battle Driver is nice. Aha. Well, that is a mild problem. So another Ground Assault would be good here. We get a Dreamborn Muse instead. Well, the good news is we can play both. The trouble is... How about we do this? We play that. Okay. Then we're going to unearth this. Hey, finally we're playing properly. Look at that. That's now going to get 5. And Inferno Titan, we can pump him up, but I don't think it matters. And let's attack. I'm not going to attack with that. There's no point. So we'll attack with both. And then we're going to do 1 damage to this so he can't jump block. And the rest to his face. So he's now at 6. At this point, he's got to block one of them. Yeah. Well, you might as well. I mean, this is lethal now. So actually, he does have to block both. And unfortunately, either way, he's going to be losing his Angel. If for some reason he decides to block just the Inferno Titan, we can always get him to sack a creature later on. And if he plays another creature, we can just play both of these. So he is going to double block. He doesn't want to be at 1. So I think this game is pretty much over unless he's got something. But I think the game is pretty much over. The Inferno Titan is an I win button. I'm not going to lie, guys. He comes out and he deals an impressive amount of damage. And there's very little you can do to recover from an onslaught of attacks from the Inferno Titan. So let's see what's going to happen here. He's got 6 cards in hand and a good deal of mana, so he's not exactly completely dead right now. But sadly, he's also not in a great position. And he's going to have to make some decisions here soon, otherwise he's just going to die to Inferno Titan. So he needs something. So he plays a Darksteel Ingot. Cultivates, yeah. And I'm pretty sure he's got nothing. Because for 2 mana, I mean, I think at this point he's just exhausting his options. Yeah. And he's been replaced by the AI. So there we go, guys. We win game 3. Let's play the Graveborn Muse just for shits and giggles. And let's swing in with the Inferno Titan. In fact, everything's got a haste now, so... doesn't even matter. And just to avoid the trigger, because I don't want to start assigning damage, it's just pointless to waste time. Anyway, guys, stay tuned for the deck tech coming right up. Alrighty, let's get started with the deck tech here. So first we're going to start off with some lands. We've got 5 swamps, 3 mountains, 5 forests, 3 savage lands, 2 Rakdos Guild Gates, 3 Gruul Guild Gates, and 3 Golgari Guild Gates. So pretty easy with the land there, nothing too complicated. Obviously we have a good spread, just so we can make sure to cast all of our spells. So we're going to go with the Undying Evil as our first choice here. This pretty much makes something undying, which when it dies comes back with a 1-1 counter, as long as it didn't have a 1-1 counter when it died. Very good for being able to save creatures, especially with Enter the Battlefield effects. So that 3 of those. 2 Bloodghast. Bloodghast is very good. He's a 2-1. He can't block, but he does have haste if your opponent is under 10 life, and whenever you play a land, he comes back from your graveyard. So not too bad at all. 2 Tribute to Hungers. Your opponent sacrifices a creature, and you gain life equal to its toughness. Not too bad at all. 2 Graveborn Muse. We're not exactly running a big zombie deck here, but considering that she's a zombie, she'll at least draw you 1 card. If you have 2 of her on the field, she'll draw you 2 cards. In fact, you might draw 4, because 1 will trigger on each Graveborn Muse. So basically you lose X life and you draw X cards, where X is the number of zombies you control. So this ranges from 1 to 2, and it's possible to have both out on the field, although I wouldn't recommend it because your life does tend to trickle down quite fast. But it's a nice way to keep your hand full, aside from Indulgent Tormentor here. Next card is the Viscera Dragger. It's a 3/3 for 4. Cycling 2, which means you can pay 2 colorless to discard the card and draw an extra card. And once it's in your graveyard, you can unearth it for 2, which means it comes back with haste. Not too bad at all. Then we've got the Indulgent Tormentor for 5 mana. He's a 5/3 flying. And at the beginning of your upkeep, your opponent has a choice. They can allow you to draw an extra card, or they can sacrifice a creature or pay 3 life to prevent you from drawing an extra card. Always very good. Nice card draw engine there. This card we didn't see too much. Rescue from the Underworld for 5 mana. Nice instant to be able to rescue something from the Underworld, obviously. Choose target creature card in your graveyard, return that card, and the sacrifice card to the battlefield under your control at the beginning of your next upkeep. So you do have to sacrifice another creature, but fortunately, as per paying that as an extra cost to cast the card, both creatures do come back on your next upkeep. So considering this is instant, it's a great thing to do. When you have a creature in your graveyard at the end of your opponent's turn and you want to get him back, do this at the end of their end step, or the beginning of their end step, and you're going to be getting both creatures back at the beginning of your turn, which is really good. So Sheoldred Whispering One, she is insanely good in this deck, bringing stuff back again and again and again, and of course making your opponent sack stuff. It's 7 mana, which is a bit pricey, but she's a mythic rare, as you can see there. 6/6 Swamp Walk, so she's not even blockable by anyone who's playing swamps. And basically at the beginning of your upkeep, you can return a target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield, and at the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, that player sacrifices a creature. Yeah. So if you can't deal with this early on, you're in trouble. So we have one of those, of course, because it's a mythic rare. Next up, we've got the Ruin-Scarred Demon for 7. It's a 6/6 flyer. Basically a tutor on a stick. Nice beefy creature as well to do some good beating with. And we've got 2 of those. 2 Shocks, pretty self-explanatory. 1 mana, do 2 damage. 2 Anger of the Gods for 3 mana. And it does 3 damage to each creature, exiles them if they died this way. Very, very good for playing against token decks and other weenie decks, and so on. Ogre Battle Driver for 4 is a 3/3. Whenever another creature comes into the battlefield, it gains +2/+0 in haste. Very, very good. We've got 2 of those. 1 Infernal Titan, because why not? You can pump them up. We didn't really do that in the last game, but hey, if you don't have any blockers on the other side of the field, go ahead and pump them up to infinity and beyond and just swing like crazy. If you guys didn't get the Toy Story reference there, I don't know what to say. Anyway, moving on. Oh, and when he goes into combat, by the way, he does some damage as well, which is nice. And the same thing happens when he comes into play, which is one of the things that makes him really good. So, and you can assign that damage to anyone that you like, split among any number of creatures or players. Then we've got our Warstorm Surge, which again we didn't really see. We sort of saw it in one of the games there, I think, late game, which didn't really help us too much. But 6 mana, and whenever a creature enters the battlefield, it deals damage equal to its power to target creature or player. Inferno Titan, anyone? Yeah. Then we've got the Genesis Hydra for X and 2 green. So whatever you decide to pay, it comes in with that many 1/1 counters, and you can also search your library for X amount of creatures with X converted mana cost or less and put them into play, which is really, really nice. And then we go into the Elvish Visionary here, 2 mana for a 1/1, replaces itself by drawing a card, so 2 of those. Of course, we've got the Cultivate for 3 mana, which allows you to get 1 land into the into your hand and 1 into the battlefield. Almost said graveyard there, that was close. So we've got 3 of those. We've got a couple of Palaka Worms here. They're quite expensive at 7, but they're a 7/7 trample, gains you 7 life and replaces itself when it dies. Really, really good. Sorry, we actually have 1 of those. I ended up cutting 1. I had 2. And then we go with the Ground Assault. So the Ground Assault, 1 green, 1 red, and it deals damage to target creature equal to the amount of lands you control, which, as you can imagine, can be quite a bit. So that's going to do it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video and this deck tech. If you guys have any comments or suggestions about the deck or any future content to come on the channel, please make sure to leave your thoughts in the suggestions in the comment section below. Guys, I'm totally off my game today. I'm sorry. I don't know what is going on with me. But anyway, thank you again for watching. Make sure to check out the blog at ssbgaming.blogspot.com, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care, guys, and see you next time.